EB5投资美国移民的需求在中国呢日益火爆，那么年年的申请的人数呢都在剧增。那具体操作的情况你是否了解呢？今天我们有幸为您请来了王明武律师事务所的移民律师 Cameron 呢来请我们解答一下一些问题。Cameron, welcome to the program.
Hi, thank you, David.
So, what kind of companies can you invest in the United States that qualifies for an EB5 visa?
In order to establish an EB5 visa, which was created by the government and established in 1992, it must be a business that's for profit, either an LLC, a sole proprietorship, partnership, something that's a for-profit business, because that's the whole point of the EB5 was to generate revenues and generate jobs in the United States.
So a nonprofit or a charity doesn't count?
Right, that doesn't count. That's not really helping the economy per se, but a for-profit business is what's acceptable.
Well, can it be any investment that meets the capital requirement? Can I buy a house and hire a housekeeper or management company to manage the property and do rental business?
Well, you have to be very careful, because a lot of people think that, well, I can invest money in property and that's all I have to do. And then I can hire 10 people to walk around all day full-time for 2 years and consider that a business. You have to prove to the government that, one, it's registered as a business, that you're making a profit off the business. And for example, as you brought up rental property, that is a for-profit business. But you have to be careful, because a lot of people who think that a real estate is sufficient really lack the skills and knowledge to turn that into a for-profit business. So if you're going to do that, you have to have a very, very good business team monitoring that project.
So what if I don't have any special skill set or advanced college degrees, or I don't have any managerial experience? Well, can I still apply for EB5?
Absolutely. You don't have to there's no degree requirement. You don't have to have an MBA or a master's or a law degree to do the EB5. For the individual investment, all it requires is that you not only put the investment in, but you have a direct role in upkeeping that company, managing that company. If you don't have a managerial experience, what you can do is hire somebody as one of your employees, to maybe an accountant, a manager, or somebody with a business marketing background that can really, utilize the business aspect of that to your advantage, so that you're not just simply losing money over 2 years. So you don't need a background particularly, but you just need the entrepreneurial set to want to create something and know how to create that business and make it successful.
Right. You mentioned about the if I buy existing company, or somehow is in trouble, and do I have to physically live in the same state or same area in the proximity of that business? Or can it be just anywhere in the United States? I would like to live in Hawaii, for example.
Immigration laws are federal, which means that it's not like a state law where everything has to be done within the confines of that state.
Right.
But the strong suggestion and advice is that you are able to, with the individual investment, have some kind of direct control over your project, over your investment. Because immigration, when they look at your paperwork and they say, "Hi, I've been on vacation for 2 years and I've come back and I'm looking at my investment," they're gonna want to know how you, as an individual, either through your business plan or through proof of your investment, have been helping manage or conduct this business over the past 2 years. So while you can live farther away from your project or your investment, you still have to prove to immigration that you were directly involved and in the day-to-day aspects of this business.
So if I come to U.S. on a temporary green card under the EB5, and does it mean I have to live in the U.S. at least half a year?
Yeah, you should be living in the United States for a prolonged period of time for those 2 years. The more that you live outside the country, and obviously traveling, because you're going to need to get the funds into the United States, is going to be acceptable to immigration. But if you're taking off months and months and months upon the EB5 project and just really literally doing business in China or Taiwan or Macau or somewhere, and coming back just to simply claim that you're being a resident, then it's going to look bad for immigration that these projects are to help people to become permanent residents, but they're spending all of their time elsewhere outside the United States. The requirement is that you have to be a permanent resident during your conditional residency. You have to show that your intent is to become a permanent resident and eventually possibly a U.S. citizen after this project passes.
You have to meet the residency requirement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
本资讯由王明武律师事务所赞助提供。